Nah, I was about to say, lost it just that quick. I
You
really
ain't lose
did.
a thought that
I
fast,
lost
huh?
it. I lost that bit that quick. So I got so much going on in my head right now,
Oh, you
bro.
said you was about to get something. What you about to?
E-
What you
I don't
about
even remember now, bro. I really don't. Like it really just left quick,
what it sounded like?
like that, like a bit, like like the wind,
It
bit,
left
like
that quick, bro.
nah, for real, nah,
That's
for real,
crazy.
dog. Yeah, man, it happens. It happens like that sometimes, bro. When you
It do though.
constantly thinking, bro.
It
But it comes
does.
back to you when it needs to, though.
Oh yeah, always.
As all good ideas do, So I'm not even really like, I'm not even tripping on it for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah, it's gonna come back at the right time, as
for
always.
sure.
But nah, bro, how
How you doing
everything
today,
been, bro?
bro?
How was your week? I asked you first.
I was about to ask you the same question. All right, bro. All right, bro.
Ah.
Okay. Nah, my week was good, bro. Just hectic. It was a hectic week just because of different meetings that I have had going on. So it wasn't like a bad week. It was just a very, very busy week for me.
Exactly.
Everything
Yeah.
from volunteering, you have to have meetings, planning meetings for stuff like that. You know what I mean? At work, the different nuances in work. We had some things going that's about to be critical path. So we're trying to get it up to schedule. You feel what I'm saying? Because of
Hmm.
some prior issues. So it's like,
It was one of
as
them
a
prep,
quality person,
one of them prep weeks, like preparing for the next.
yeah,
Really, this week
for
was
the
preparing for the next week.
for the next week and for the
Right.
next for the next 6 months type shit.
Right.
Like, yeah, like this is the preview of what your week's gonna look like. Like,
Hmm.
because I realize when you're really moving and you're really successful, like people think that like you'll everything just kind of like stops. Like, no, it just continues to keep going for real, and it gets busier as you continue to like get involved. Like, now we're not just talking about it, we're actually doing it. So now it's
Hmm.
like, whoa, like I'm so in it now. Like, you realize how busy you really are. You have to
Yeah.
be, you know what I'm saying, just to continue to move in the direction that you want to move into. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, bro.
It's different between like being busy, like just doing busy work, and actually like getting to the next step in the process. And it sounds like that's what you're doing in each one of your things right now. It's just making
Right.
that next step, and it's just every step gets harder and harder to execute. You feel me?
Yeah, because now you're dealing with stuff like conflicting. Like,
Right.
most times I had and it's crazy but that's where I realized the growth is at, right? Because I remember when I first started work and I had so much time at the end of the day. Like, and I remember I would just joke on the game or whatever, or just waste my time doing whatever. Now I'm actually being productive with every single hour and every single minute of my day. So now
Exactly.
it's just, but now it's like, it's not nothing that's too overwhelming. It's just that it's something that you just have to get used to and continue to do for you to get used to it. And the only way you're going to be able to get used to it is if you just do it and just to get better with it, because you're not going to be perfect at it the first time as far as managing your time, because that's what the process is about, knowing what you need to give your time to and what
Right.
you need to, what I'm saying, how you need to allocate your time and where it needs to be put forward, because everywhere doesn't require your time or your energy. So it's like life is a process of just realizing where your energy and your time needs to go. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's all it really is now. You know what I mean? So
Prioritizing,
yeah,
prioritizing everything.
right. Facts.
But yeah, bro, I had a good week too, man. On Thursday I got the tenant signed. That was good. Yeah, the old tenant moved out, so it took about a
Mm-hmm.
couple weeks for us to find a new candidate, meet them, screen them, get all the paperwork together, and so Section 8 gonna do a walkthrough of the place, and then we already collected a deposit, so just waiting on that.
Hey,
So that's moving forward well. So we'll get back to the cash flow coming in.
bro, you know how ridiculous. I was gonna pause you for a second, bro. Do you realize what you're saying right now, bro? How old are you,
Right,
bro?
bro. It's crazy, bro. I'm 24.
You're
I'm
24 years
24.
old, bro, and you're talking about, yeah, I got this tenant to sign this lease and to pay this deposit. Like, bro, how many 24-year-olds talking about that for real?
I
Like,
appreciate it, bro. But it's like
that's big, bro. I just want to highlight that, bro. That's super big, though.
I,
At an
I
early age,
I
bro.
appreciate you, sir. But it's like I try not to look at it like that and always, challenge myself because I know it's people there's always gonna be somebody younger or someone, doing more than you. So it's like I try not to get caught up in it. But sometimes you do have to take a step back and, you know, congratulate yourself how far you done came, especially when you
Mm-hmm.
weren't, you know, raised with all of this knowledge and you had to kind of go out and attain it and execute on it. And it's kind of
Right.
like you gotta, you know, applaud yourself sometimes. But ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. And that's how you keep going, because you got to appreciate the small wins and the big
Exactly.
wins. Like everything that you accomplish, you have to really be able to just congratulate yourself for, because you got to realize that it's a balance, right? Like, so you have to realize that you're doing something that most people may not be able to do at the same time. There are people that have done this before, and maybe people that are younger than you that have more than you, but it's your journey. So as long as you know there is a
Exactly.
balance, you know what I'm saying? It's your journey, and you're making the strides, and you're a better person than you were the day before, and the week before, and the year before, and the 5 years before, right?
Right.
As long as you know you're getting better and you're in a better position, then you have something to build off of. You have to build off the wins. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We can't worry about the losses or get stuck on the losses. You feel what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
just
we
have to
can't
have
be
that
mad at
mindset.
ourselves because how we were raised and, you know, the information that we didn't get. We can't kick ourselves for that. All we can do is take the information that we now have and apply it to our life and the circumstances that we have right now. So yeah,
Right.
you can't be mad at the hand we were dealt, because the dealer is unbiased. He just got cards. He just dishing them out. You feel me? They don't know what
Yep.
card gonna come out there. That's just happened to be your hand. It's just what you gonna do with your hand now. You feel me?
Right. Right.
You
It's
gonna
not
fold?
about
You
the
gonna
cards you
fold?
dealt, but the way you play them. Yeah,
Right.
you got to play them. Like you know, this spades. We can talk about spades, because spades is the same way.
Oh God.
Because we don't got you. Guess you can get a boo boo hand, but if you got a partner and you know how to make it work,
Oh
you gonna get
God.
some books now.
Bro,
So
we done
you
did
know what I'm
that before,
saying?
bro. We done
We
had,
done
you
did that
know, bad
before.
hands, and it's like we just found ways to play around with them. You feel me? And
Cause
figure
you
out
always
another
gonna get
way.
dealt a new hand.
Right.
You gonna get
You
dealt
gonna
another
get another
hand,
hand,
bro.
yes.
But what you gonna do with this hand that you have right now? Like
Right.
you got to play with the
You just
cards that you
can't give
got.
up with this hand. You just get through with this hand. Like, you know,
Right.
get to the next round. You feel me?
Right, because the deck always gonna have to be shuffled again, bro. So it's
Exactly.
just a matter of time before you get that hand. That then you gonna know that that's the hand. Like yeah, like I'm about to
You know
yeah
that
yeah
feeling when you
like
get that hand, like, ooh,
yeah.
like it's over
But I got
now.
about how many
I've been
books you
waiting
got?
for
I
this
got about
hand.
six.
Yep.
I got about
Like,
6 books.
I've been waiting for this hand, bro. Yeah,
Whole
bro.
time. Then you go to dominate after that.
Thanks. But yeah, today, man, we're just gonna talk about the 7 pillars of mindset. I'm currently working on a book. Will be coming out soon in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm basically going to touch on all 7 of these principles or pillars that's going to help you get to the optimized mindset and get on the other side of your thoughts and be more productive and more positive as a person as a whole. So the first pillar of the mindset is awareness. So we all know that we have thoughts in our head, but a lot of times we don't entertain those thoughts. So we might have a negative thought come in, we just accept it as what it is instead of actually dissecting that thought and seeing where it was rooted from, where it came from, and actually understanding that it is really probably the single most important thing to our success, because those repeated thoughts is going to accumulate in your mind, is going to create your reality. So that's the first step, is just being aware of what's going on. And how I do that, how I become more aware, is I meditate. I take time, at least 30 minutes a day, to sit down outside or inside and just breathe deeply, control my breathing, and just monitor my thoughts, whether they're good or bad, and just kind of see, talk to the thought, kind of, you know, investigate it. You feel me? And just go deeper into it. Like, say if I'm sitting down meditating and all of a sudden I get anxiety about a project at work or something like that. I'll think about, why do I have anxiety about that? Why am I fearful of that moment, or why am I nervous about that moment? Where is that rooted from? So yeah,
Right.
that's kind of how I think about it.
Right. And then when it comes to awareness, people don't realize, like, especially in life, like there are going to be things that happen that's outside of your control, even with yourself and your own actions. Because honestly, I'm pretty sure there have been times where when we look back on it, there have been times when we've gotten out of character, we've acted out of our body, right? Where we shouldn't have, but now because of that experience, we know what that feels like, and now we're aware of where we don't want to be from a mental standpoint. So you're always going to be pushed sometimes to, get outside of your character, or or just you're going to be challenged on a daily by life, for your own characteristics, right? So it's really like one of those things where as long as you're aware, you're always able to make the adjustment, make the correction before it gets to that point, right? As long as you're aware, but you have to be aware. So like you said, one thing I do is, I meditate. So I meditate and I have those stuff that you're doing, but I also do yoga too. And people don't realize there are a lot of different things that yoga can help with, um, that will ultimately affect your mental, like your stress levels, because it's always about the little muscles, the little joints and stuff like that. And yoga attacks all of that stuff, right? To the point where when you're done, you're like, okay, your posture's a little bit better. You feel less tension in your neck. And all of a sudden, those sensations, right, are now affecting your brain activity. You're like, okay, now you're not as tense. Like, and the best thing to do is when you get up in first thing in the morning, especially go to work, is try and do a little bit. You're like 10 minutes. So that's what I do. I go on YouTube, find a little video, like 10-minute video, do a little yoga. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm ready. Like I feel somewhat aligned. Then I meditate. But ultimately, before I do anything, before I put my feet on the ground, for real, or well, before I get out of my bed, I make sure that I pray. You know what I'm saying? Being the religious person that I am, the very spiritual person that I am, believing that there's one man that we have to answer to in his life, I feel like that's the first thing that you should do, because ultimately he has the control over this realm that we live in right now. And you and he knows the blueprint. He has the blueprint for your life and everything like that. So why not go to the creator of that blueprint and ask for some direction and some guidance? You see what I'm saying? So that also and this may not be everybody, but this is just me. You know what I mean? Because that's what I believe in. That's what I abide by. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's an important fact for those people that do believe that, right?
Right.
But
And
and
I feel like,
ultimately, you
oh, my
still have
bad.
to do that. No, I'm saying, but ultimately, no matter what you believe in, right, you still have to have some type of guidance and something to
Oh,
really
yeah,
like align you so you can walk the path that you need to walk on.
exactly. And I feel like a lot of times people choose not to be aware. That way they don't have to actually spend the time with themselves. You feel me? Because it makes them feel better about themselves because they don't have to accept the fact that their mindset is poor and they don't even have to seek more information. So it's like it kind of puts you in this position like where you're deflecting the truth. That way you can remain in this denial phase. That way you don't even have to entertain your awareness at all. And I think that's really the first most important step of even trying to improve your mindset is accepting that you have a poor mindset and connecting with God and talking to God and seeking that guidance, like you're saying, from the higher power. Because if you're constantly fighting the truth, you won't want to seek that guidance. You won't want to build that relationship with the higher power because you in your heart truly don't even want to get better because you don't want to face the fact of your, imperfections. So,
Right. And then the only way for you to do that is to realize that you're not perfect. Like nobody's perfect. And there's a difference between, but this is the thing with that, right? I feel like everybody knows, right, that we're not perfect, but a lot of people use that as an excuse, like to continue to do the things they do, right? So that's where this now you're getting the excuses are coming into play. But it's like, okay, if you're aware of this, why not make the effort to change that habit or change that mindset or change the actions that you're doing, the imperfections? You know what I'm saying? Because the more you evolve, you're gonna have different imperfections because you're focusing on one direction. You're gonna have weaknesses, but as long as you're aware of those weaknesses, you will never have to worry about falling because you're aware of the weakness that you have. So you're always putting yourself in a position to always get better off of your strengths, right? But don't use the imperfections as an excuse to continue to be imperfect. You should want to choose to be, you should want to strive to be perfect in different ways, right? You know what I'm saying? But you also have to understand and accept the fact that you will not be perfect because nobody is, at least not here on
Right.
earth, right?
Exactly. But you're
So
always striving for that, to be like Jesus. We all want to strive to be like Jesus. We know that it's impossible to ever reach that, that mark, but it's always going to give us something to wake up and look forward to. And that's why whenever you live and you pass away, it doesn't just end right there because you're always continuously growing. It's pretty much like the saying, aim for the stars and you might reach the moon. So it's like you're always aiming for the stars. But if you reach the moon, it's like, damn, at least I'm not still where I started off at. Like I done made it somewhere. So it's like,
facts.
but yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
facts.
awareness part. The next one was just
That's why you should never really be afraid to aim too high, bro. Aim as high as you
exactly,
want to. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be so focused on aiming that high that you're gonna get to a point where you just like looking down, like, dang, I really made it up here. Just an example of that, real quick, before we move on, is when uh I went to Las Vegas for Kiera's birthday, right? So we went to Las Vegas and stuff, and we went to Red Rock Canyon. This is like it was a real live example of like just the strength of your mindset. So we started at the bottom. It was it was me, my sister, it was Kiera, it was Angelique, Maya, and then her brother and her cousin. So it was about 6 of us, right? Boom. So we get to the point we walking, we trying to find the trail or whatever. Mind you, we didn't know what type of trail it was our first time being here. And we look up at this big mountain. It's like there's no trail, but it's like it was really like a rock climbing mountain that you could climb with no harm, like with no gear. Basically, it's safe enough for you to climb with no gear. So we looking at it, and we walk around. We walk around a little bit, and Jossie, her cousin, he like, shit, let's climb that bit. And we looked at him like, all right, bet, let's do it. All right, cool. So 2 people stayed behind. They're like, I'm not about to do that. I'm cool on it. So we get to like a halfway point, right? Not even a halfway point. We just going and going. Mind you, Josh is way at the top. He way at the top of them. He way at the top. He leading the pack. But we get to certain roadblocks where it's like, dang, I don't think we can go no more, right? But at each roadblock, there's a one person that gets left behind because everybody else has found that path to get around the obstacle, right? So then it's like I'm looking at this like, dang, like we get really getting to this point, and then eventually we get to the point we can see the entire, like we can see other mountains, right? So it's like, yeah, it's
y'all
crazy, bro.
tripping.
It was crazy though because we was doing it with no harness, like nothing. But it was like it was cool as long as you took your time. Don't rush. We didn't rush. We actually took the time to find the path, right? And at the end of the day, I even got stuck, and I would even question it, and I was like, I don't know, I'm chilling right now, like but then I saw Kiera and Jossie go up, and I'm like, yeah, nah, if they can go, I'm gonna just go ahead and go. Just say, whatever, right? So I found my way. It ended up just being us 3 at the top with the most beautiful views that we could see Las Vegas from where we was at. Like we could see the city of Las Vegas from where we was at. Yeah.
Dang, y'all was
So
that
it was
high.
like we was that high. So like, but it was a beautiful thing because we really sat there and saw that like we was like, dang, this is what it said. It was a caption. Jossie was like, when they say you wasn't gonna make it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, but we made
Mm-hmm.
it to the top. No matter what obstacle came, we got to the point we
You
could really
found a way.
we literally couldn't go no more. We was at the highest point. So we like,
Exactly.
but before we even realized it, because we were just focused on that goal of
On the
making it to
next
the
thing,
top,
just getting to
on
the
the
next
next
thing.
thing,
Boom,
getting
boom,
to the
boom.
next thing, right? Attacking it every time. We eventually be like, oh, we ain't got no further we can go. We here,
Right. You here
right?
now? It's
We
like,
here now,
dang.
right?
Like all we had to do was keep pushing ourselves and breaking those mental barriers consistently every day. Boom, boom,
Right.
boom. And all of a sudden you can be like, dang, like you were literally climbing a life mountain.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, bro. But
Exactly,
that's awareness, man. So next thing we're gonna talk about, we're gonna get into identify. So now that we aware, we sparked our brain and made it more conscious and aware of our thoughts that are coming in and out. Now we're going to actually get to the root of those thoughts and figure out where they came from, identify where they came from, and what type of mindset we have. So a lot of us, we don't know this, but we actually are like in a very abusive relationship with ourselves, like whenever we, become like teenagers in high school, because of all of the predetermined beliefs or self-doubts and negative, comments that other people have put on us. We kind of ingest those and identify with them. So just taking the time to, after you meditate and identify those thoughts, figure out what type of person have you become. Are you a growth minded person or like a fixed mindset based person? You feel me? So yeah, we're just gonna get into that. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
So from like identification, right? You have to realize, like you said, you have to realize whether you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Like the identification comes from the awareness. So that's step one, right? Being aware. Then it's all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm aware of this problem now. Now, how do I identify what the root of these problems are and what they really are? That's the identification part. And so when you get to a point where you're getting to a point now when you have the awareness that you actually realize that there's a certain type of mindset when it comes to achieving your successes and achieving your goals, right? So leading off to what you like,
Right.
basically going for what you were saying with the growth mindset, right? Growth mindset, a fixed mindset. And it's like that's really just the difference between somebody staying where they're at and somebody elevating and getting to where they want to be at.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see people with everything they saying they desire, right? Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, like I'm thinking about it, right? Um, the, dude Supreme Dream, right? Boy Money Mark, right? Money Mook, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He's really showing like this real life example of making your dreams come true. He made videos of these people, of all these celebrities and stuff for like 4 or 5 years, and he's in a position. Now he's meeting these people. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about being these people, making videos about. Now you're meeting these people. So that just shows the growth mindset. You know what I'm saying? I remember listening to him in like a little interview one time, and he said, I remember I used to tell, he's like, I used to put us in houses I knew we couldn't afford, like to stay in. Like
Just to
it's
put that in your
just
head, just to get that programming in there, because we done
right.
pre-programmed so much that we don't even believe that we could live in something like that. Like we might come from our parents' house and then look at, our parents might pass them other houses and you'd be like, "Mommy, I want to live there." Like when you're a little kid, you'd be like, "Mommy, I want to live there," and they tell you, "No, son, we can't afford that." So like think about every time or like they'd be like, "Oh, mom, I want McDonald's," and then like your mom be like, "I don't have McDonald's money," or something like that, and you start putting that in your head and that becomes your programming. And now every time you pass a McDonald's, even though you're an adult, you like, I don't have McDonald's money, or like I can't live there because I can't afford it. So you won't even unlock that part of your brain to see what it would take to get in that position, or what steps it would require from you to achieve for you to get to that house. It's always if somebody already did it, it can be done again. It can be reverse engineered and broken down into steps and recreate it. So the fact that some people don't want to take that extra step, it's not because they can't do it. It's because they literally have already predetermined with their self that they cannot do it. And they won't even take the chance to do it.
Right, and that's that fixed mindset, right? So that's where that's that fixed mindset that you go into. So instead of thinking about growth, like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can get $10 million. We just literally just had this conversation yesterday. You feel what I'm saying?
On
Like
God, on
literally,
God.
literally just had this conversation yesterday, right? Like this is a real life example of me and your conversations. I
Mm,
said things like, yeah, man, I want to be a millionaire by 30, and you came back to me and was like, you can make more than a million by 30 years old, right? You can make more than a million. Why not? Why limit yourself?
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, a million really ain't a lot. And I
right.
was like, damn, a million really isn't a lot for real.
Hmm. It's
So I
not,
was
bro.
like, you know what?
We just
Yeah.
taught to think that it's a lot because we never actually seen it from anybody that we like were raised up with or anything like that. But there's people making a million in a day. And you telling me I gotta wait till I'm 30 to get a million when you making a million in a day? not on no comparison stuff, but it's just like you are a human being. We both wake up and we both got skills, bro. You telling me we not skilled enough to figure out how to do that?
I put my pants on one at a time, just like you do. Just
Exactly.
like you got to every day. So
Exactly.
why can I, you know what I'm saying? Why can I do that?
It's because of
Right.
us,
And
and it's
that's
literally
why,
because of your own self doubt. And the sooner
exactly.
we
And that fixed
realize that,
mindset.
the sooner we realize that, the sooner we'll be happy. And as far as a growth mindset goes, you know if you have a growth mindset based on how you answer this question. So it's gonna be in the book as well. So it's like, do you believe that leadership is something that some people are like born leaders, or do you believe that leadership is something that you can learn and grow into? And a lot of people say that people are either naturally a leader or they're not. But the truth of the matter is that nobody's actually born just a leader. Like nobody's just born and know how to lead. Like that's not an instinctual thing. That's something that you learn through growth and experiences and overcoming situations and understanding people. That's you can learn how to be a leader. Everyone learns how to be a leader. You're not just born a leader. So yeah.
Right. Like, and I agree with you. Like, because leadership comes over time. Like, you don't, like you say, you're not just born knowing how to interact with people, socialize with people, see other people's point of views, and then bring a collective of people together to accomplish one goal. Right. That's like something that doesn't make any sense because you're not born like knowing that for real, for real. Like, I don't even know how even else to even put it because we go
Exactly.
through so much during
Like
life as possible. It's like how do you
right.
even explain that? Because it's like, bro, like I have to learn this stuff.
Bro, but you won't
When
believe
you're
how many
born, you're
people
very selfish.
really think that though. People really legit think that people are born leaders because we hear it on like Sports Center when they be like, you could tell Chris Paul is a born leader. He was born. Like they say those things to make it seem like it's unachievable and for you to suppress yourself and accept your position as just a minute person or you're just a role player. Like, no, bro, you are a leader. You just not expressing those leadership traits that you have within you. You feel me?
And that comes from like the only difference between leaders, right? And this is what I was thinking about before, just thinking about that, right? It's like if you're not really born a leader because you have to learn these things. You have to learn how to interact with people. You have to learn those traits, right? When it comes to leadership, right? When it comes to leadership, like that's something that's developed and those and saying that leadership, those people that are really good leaders are people that just took the time to learn from their mistakes, right? Took the time to learn other people. Like those are the people that become leaders because now they're taking in ideas and things like that from other people and applying it to themselves. Or, being a leader requires you to be selfless. But at the same time, when it's time to put the foot down and say, hey, bro, we got to go, you the one leading the charge. Yeah, there's a balance. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. And just to add to the whole fixed and growth mindset, bro. Just like another example, bro. When I was young, I literally did not think that I was like good at English, like based on, test scores and what teachers are saying and stuff like that. Like I'm not good at English and I don't know how to write, bro. But then it got to a point where I started telling myself that, and I literally started believing it. And now every time I was given a writing assignment, I wouldn't even really try, and I would get a bad grade, and that would just reinforce the fact that I'm not good at English or writing. But then it got to a point where I was like, bro, like, why am I telling myself I'm not good at English based off of someone else's standardized test or a teacher who probably doesn't even give a fuck about me telling me that I'm not good at this because they don't like me in general. So it's like I'm gonna reprogram myself. I'm gonna tell myself I'm one of the best writers ever. Like I love to write. Like I really enjoy writing. I just take notes for no reason. So how can somebody tell me I'm not good at that? Just because I'm not doing it within your parameters doesn't mean it's not good. And y'all gonna see this when the book come out how great that bitch is. So it's like so it's like, bruh, don't ever let nobody tell you that you can't that you can't do something, bro. Because I took a college course that was for seniors my freshman year. It was called Proof and Technical Writing.
I remember that.
I got an A in that bitch, bro. And it was
I
a
remember
class full of
that.
seniors. I wasn't even supposed to take that bitch that year.
And I was bucked up for you, and I could tell,
Right.
like, you was like, yeah, like, you really, like, I could tell because you were really putting in effort, like, in the class, and really, and based on what you would tell me from the class, I realized you was really in there understanding what was going on.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro.
And as a class full of seniors, and there's probably some seniors in that bit there's
That couldn't
probably some
even
seniors
figure
in
it
there
out.
that probably couldn't even figure it out for real.
It's
But you was
because it
able
was
to.
called Proof and Technical Writing. So like it literally played into my strong suit because you know I'm a real direct, concise person. Like I don't like a lot of fluff or nothing extra. Like I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna give you the fact. I'm gonna give you my commentary, and then that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna give you a long, drawn out commentary. You feel me? I'm gonna give you my point of view, and I'm gonna give you the fact. And I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep hitting you with it. You can be like, damn, like I'm understanding his concept because he's not taking me down this rabbit hole of meaningless statements. You feel me? So you gonna see, bro.
And that's like with me, like right, like let's think about it, bro. Like you know me coming to school, like I remember high school, right? So in high school, I was a valedictorian, right? I had a 4.3. Okay, so I had a 4.3 GPA. I was valedictorian in high school. Madonna 35 senior high school. You feel me? In New Orleans, right?
Sure, yes,
So
sir.
yeah, man. Shout out to the Round Eagles, man. For real, for real. That's the tribe for real. But I remember that when I was in school and I was taking the ACT, I really didn't like studying for real. I didn't like taking tests. I don't like taking tests, but I'll take it because I know I have to, right? So when it came to the ACT, I didn't study for the ACT. My mom just telling me, "Oh, it's not just it's not the content, but learn how to take the test." And I'm like, "Why the hell would I want to take a test that I have to study for and how to take it? I can't just take the test and pass off the content. Like that
Bro,
don't make no
that's
sense.
the dumbest thing ever, bro.
That's the stupidest stuff ever. I have to learn how to take your test to get a good score, but the content is simple. That don't make no sense." So guess what? So boom. So I'm thinking like, people telling me like, yeah, you smart, you're going to get this. I know you're going to get a 20. Like people I'm like, bro, y'all don't even realize, bro. I don't really like studying like that for real. I just do this shit because I got to. I'm just good at working hard and I work hard and I work smart. Like I know that this is going to pay off in the end, right? That's all people don't realize that. So I took the ACT 3 times. Guess what? My score was a 21 every single time.
What's it every time, bro?
Every
The
time.
ACT,
I took the SC.
the ACT is not a true measure of somebody's intelligence. I hope people know
Bro,
that, bro.
and
But
this is
people
why
will
I'm about
take
to.
that score, and make that them, bro.
And guess what? And this is why I'm a living example of that right there. Because guess what? My score was okay. So then I took the SAT, and I got it was like a 1350, which is the 21 equivalent on the ACT. So I literally made a 21 4
You
times.
got the exact same thing.
4 times. So look, 4 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So consistency. Hey, I'm consistent at least. You know what I'm saying? So I took that test. And then guess what my score was? My math score was on the ACT.
What you got?
My highest score was a 17, bro.
On the math?
On the math.
But you good at math.
I'm an engineer, bro.
Right. That's crazy. But
You
you're good at math.
And then when I was in college, when it came to the math classes, I was the one helping most of the class pass the test and studying for all of the tests. Right. I was literally teaching the courses. Yes, and you know that because you was in one of my classes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you sat there and watched me teach pre-cal to a whole class full of people. Damn exactly.
Near. Yeah, that's strange, bro.
Yeah, Dick. So I'm really a testament to like, bro, that test is bullshit.
But some people literally just not like good test takers, bro. But like that has nothing to do with how smart you are. Usually the person who's the best test taker is just the best at like kind of like understanding the structure of like how they're placing answers on the test and like kind of understand like systems and stuff like that. That's usually like your best test taker. But as far as like someone being naturally just intelligent, the test is actually set up for the naturally intelligent people to fail. It's literally based on how you understand the system of the test.
But guess what? When it came to the ASVAB, the military test, which is all common sense, guess what score I made?
What you got?
A 62.
Out of what?
I
that's
think it
like
was out
that's
of
like
like,
what percentile is that? Like I'm just
I
trying to
think
understand.
that is so the 62 is like the top 20
Like 15,
percentile,
20%.
15,
Yeah,
something
I know
like
it's
that.
something like
Yeah.
that. See, that's high as
But
fuck.
that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is like something around that area or whatever. So, but their test was nothing like the ACT. It was more so common sense, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do in this situation? Somebody was in a fire. What are you gonna do? Like, or when it came to like mechanisms, right? When
Oh,
it
okay,
comes to
like
fixing stuff,
real
like stuff
logical
like that too.
answers, like
Real logical answers. Like,
right. Yeah.
one, you know what I'm saying? Not three
Like based
apples and
on
four
how
oranges.
smart you are. Yeah, like really
So
based
and
on
then I guess when I took that test, I had every branch of the military calling me. I had the National Guard calling me, the Marines was calling me, the Navy, Army, Air Force, everybody was calling me because of
that's
that one
crazy.
school. Because they're like, okay, he naturally he knows how to critically think.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? In any situations, based on this test, based on real stuff, he would do fine in the military.
Exactly. We already know. Based
Or
on how he
he
answered.
would be a leader in the military, like because of his common sense. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Because a lot of
So
people lack that, bro. A lot of that's like such a underrated, I guess, skill or attribute is having common sense, bro. Because with the way that the world is going, people are so detached from reality and how things actually work that common sense is not normal no more. It's actually becoming less
right.
and less normal to have common sense. But yeah, let's get into this. Oh yeah, this the one. So this kind of plays into identify. So once you are aware and you identify, the negative thoughts or self doubts that you have accumulated in your life and predetermined beliefs that were instilled in you, now it's time to just flip the switch, bro. A lot of people they understand their negative thoughts and then they kind of be like, all right, I know I have a problem, but I'm gonna wait until I I'm gonna wait till I graduate college and then I'm gonna actually start taking my life serious. I'm gonna wait till I save up this amount of money, then I'm gonna start my business or something like that. Or they'll wait. I'm gonna wait until I move out and then I can start, my life as a real adult. But no, like just don't wait. Like just start right now. Take that chance and just it's just like I'm gonna use this example because this is something that I did recently. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Tampa with my girl, and I just was like, man, like let me try something new. Like let me just try something different. So I just went on Groupon and just signed up for skydiving. I just did it. Didn't think about, didn't process none of the things and nothing like that. So I started talking to people. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Tampa, blah blah, and I'm going skydiving. They'll be like, skydiving, like what? Like you about to just jump out like that? Like you research the place? Did you do this? Did you? It's like, bro, like I didn't even think about none of that. Like when I was just like, I'm going to Tampa and I'm going skydiving. But like as you start telling people what you doing, it's gonna start making you think like, damn, like maybe I shouldn't do it. Like because I started having those
Right.
like little thoughts come up. And it's like maybe I should wait. Like I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna cancel it and I'm gonna research and find the best. But like, bro, I just had to get over it and just be like, man, I don't care what you said. The only reason why you're not doing it is because you're afraid. That has nothing to do with how I felt when I booked it. I didn't have no fear in my heart when I booked it. I know people skydive. I know people skydive every day. So I'm gonna flip that switch right now and just do it. You feel me? I'm gonna do it. So yeah.
Right. And that's where it comes with like you just conquering that, right? You just have to conquer those fears to get over that self doubt because everybody's gonna have self doubt, bro. Like it's just natural, you know what I'm saying? When it comes, especially when it comes to the society, because there's so many different opinions and things coming at you. Like you don't think your initial thought is the thought that you should go off of, because now you have something else thrown into place. That's why it's good to That's why you have to identify those different um, you'll identify what mindset that you have, and if you have a growth mindset, you're going to always be focused on growing. And then as you're continuing to focus on growing, you're going to realize that nobody else's opinion really matters because you're the one that's growing, not them. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. You're the one who's gonna be doing it, not them. So don't let they didn't have that feeling of when you was about to book it. They didn't have that feeling of when you came with your business idea. You had that feeling. God gave you that feeling to move forward and make that step. So trust that. Don't go based off another man's movement because you don't even know where their fear is stemming from. You feel me? They might just can't afford to go skydiving, so they looking at you like I'm gonna tell him all the negative stuff about skydiving since he want to go skydive somewhere, or I'm gonna go tell him all the negative stuff about starting a business because my business failed. You feel me? So like you can't take the input of other people too seriously. You got to go based on your own heart and your own truth.
I swear, bro. And that's what it's like when, so now when you get to that point, you have to know, like, okay, you're aware, you're aware of it, right? So you see what's going on. You identify what it is. You identify your mindset. You identify what the issues are. You identify the imperfections. Now it's like, boom, at some point, I have to turn the switch on. Do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? Because it's easy not to do anything. I was just saying this the other day. I realized how much I have going on, and I was talking to my old lady, and I said, "Dang!" Like sometimes I think about it. I'm like, "Dang!" Like I could really just not be doing nothing right now. I could just be at the crib, like doing nothing, like stress free, like like stress free,
Like
like
literally nothing.
not worrying about nothing.
You can do that.
You can do that if you want to, so choose to. But I know I'm like, in order for me to be where I want to be at, so I can feel like I can do nothing. And when I say do nothing, it's more so like I can relax and I can do what I want to do on
Like
my time
just
without
be,
anything
just be.
worrying. Just being,
Yeah,
just go do stuff. Like, okay, I'm gonna wake up today and I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's what I mean by do nothing. So if I decide to do nothing that day, it's okay because I'm gonna be good, Or if I just want to go, like sometimes when it comes to doing nothing, we think doing nothing is also I feel like doing nothing is associated with like doing anything separate from work. You see what I'm saying? I feel like that's what most people associate it with. But it's like if you didn't have work, you would technically be doing nothing because doing nothing is just doing stuff outside of work. You see what I'm saying? So now with taking that, why not work on yourself every single day? Use the extra time you had out of the day to work on yourself because at the end of the day, you have to work for something. And if you're gonna work for anything, at least work for yourself and do it and put yourself in the position to be where you need to be at. You see what I'm
exactly,
saying? That's gonna come from
exactly.
you working for yourself,
Like
and you have to
why
just flip the switch and turn it on.
why do nothing in a stressful environment when you can grind now? Because in order to do nothing in a stressful environment, you still gonna have to go to some sort of work. You working at a minimum wage job, 9 to 5, or whatever, whoever you work for. You entrepreneur, but you lazy entrepreneur, so you barely making money just to get by. But at some point, you're gonna have to make a decision, bro. It's either you gonna sacrifice now to live the life that you want in the future and just chill, or you gonna give up now and just work for the rest of your life, barely making ends meet and being in an uncomfortable environment. Even when you're relaxing, you can't even truly relax because in the back of your head, you're thinking about going to work the next day, or you're thinking about how stressful your environment is at your house or something like that. You feel me? So it's either you gonna flip that switch or you're not. And I feel like this is the stage after awareness and identify. This is the stage where most people will just stop. Like this is the stage where you lose most of your people at, I think.
Oh no, it is because
Right.
people when you get to this level, they're like everybody's like, oh, I
It's like,
got here, I'm
ooh.
good now. Oh, I'm here now.
Right.
I'm here now. Cool. I can do whatever I want to do, but you're not realizing that, bro. You're not even really like doing what you want to do.
Right. Right.
Like because you still have to go give most of your day to somebody else.
Right. And ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just
Yeah.
understanding that you're in this position for now, but you always working towards something greater. You're always working towards your deeper meaning, your purpose. So that's the next thing.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
next pillar we're gonna get into is purpose. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go in because I already know you about to go crazy on this one. Go ahead, bro.
Man, you want me to go off on purpose like that? You just gonna throw
I
me? You
want you
gonna
to
just
just
pass me
I
the
want
ball
you to
like
just
this?
go off, bro. I'm gonna throw you the oop.
You just you gonna throw me the oop? You want me to dunk it like Shaq and Kobe? Like you want me to go
Like you
like
see how
crazy like
Kobe
that?
dunking right there in your picture behind you?
Oh yeah, so I gotta do
That's
that one.
yeah, I
Okay.
want you to do that.
Oh man, you funny, bro. You funny as hell, bro. For real, for real. I ain't gonna even lie. But when it comes to like this is an important pillar, bro. This is probably the most important. For real, for real. Now that you brought it up, because it's like when You're aware. So we're gonna bring all the way back. So when you're aware, you have that awareness, right? You have the awareness, step one. Then you get to the identification. You identify what's right, what's wrong, what you need to work on. Two. Now three. Now you flipping the switch. You turn it on. Now we turn it on. I realize what I need to do. Now it's time for me to take action. But now with the action, there has to be a purpose behind the action. You feel me? You can't just go out there and just do whatever, because now you're just going through the motion. Because if you wanted to just act, you could just go to work every day. That's you doing the action right there.
Yeah, that's you
acting. That's your acting. Yeah, acting, literally acting, bro. Like that. But when you have purpose, that means even when you're in that place, in that workplace, your every action that you take now has intent. From the people that you meet, right? To the connections that you make. You're not just going to work and just doing your job every day, right? And just getting it done and clocking out. No, every time you go to work, you're trying to find out, well, who can I talk to get to the next point where I want to be at and learn where I need to learn. Like for me as an engineer, I'm 2 years out, bro. But now I'm in a position where I'm learning so many different things. I'm absorbing so much. Now I'm just trying to look for people to feed off of, to get into the position that I want to as an engineer. Because guess what? When it comes to this engineering stuff, I really like engineering, bro. Like I like dealing with the systems that I work with. I like the technical side, I love the analytical side of it, and just solving problems when it comes to different things. It's a different type of to mechanisms, builds, all that stuff, right? Because that's what I saw myself doing. I'm an intellectual, technical person like that. But it's like, okay, I have to realize that I can take what I'm learning here and apply it to anything else that I want to apply it to. But it's just about where do I align with it? Where do I feel like my goal in engineering, as an engineer, as somebody in this new advancing technology space, what can I learn here to put me and myself in a position to do it? And the only way you're gonna know that is by having a purpose with everything that you do. But now if we're gonna talk about purpose, you got to realize where your purpose comes from. Your purpose comes from your why. Why are you doing what you're doing right now? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because ultimately, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, is going to ultimately lead you to your purpose in this life. Because now you're always acting in your why.
Bro, it's
You
crazy
see what I'm saying?
that you got that portrait behind you and we talking about purpose. Because in my book, I actually talked about Kobe, and I talked about how basketball became his purpose. Because he started off in the States. His dad played in the NBA, boom. But then he started playing overseas. His dad started playing overseas, right? So when Kobe went overseas, he didn't have no relationship with none of these kids. He already, close to being a teenager, if not already. And he trying to build relationship with these foreigners that he never met before. They already got friends. You know how little kids can be. They're not going, they're not really fond of making new friends like that, especially people who are out of the country. So he had no choice but to embrace the game of basketball as his new best friend, because his dad constantly at practice playing, his mom, at work or whatever she's doing, and then he has nothing but this basketball. You feel me? And that became his value, his purpose, his why. Because when you treat what you do as your best friend or the most valuable thing in your life, it has no choice but to manifest into something great. When you actually pour your heart and give your all to something without a plan B, I know Kobe ain't have no plan B, bro. I ain't never heard him talk about nothing else but basketball, fool. You ever heard an
Nah, for
interview of
real.
Kobe
No,
talk about anything but basketball?
nothing, bro. Nothing. Not you said that. That's crazy. I've never ever any interview that I've
And
seen
when you
him in never
fully
talked about
immerse
nothing but it.
yourself in something that you care that much about and you giving your heart to it, bro, there's no way that it can't come full circle back to you, bro.
That's a fact, bro. That's why I feel like in this baseball space, that's why one of the reasons why I love Kobe as a player, and one of the reasons why I wore 24. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? Because as far as players, like my two, like I love basketball, and I love him and Derek Jeter, because for me they have the same, like almost the same mindset, or when it came to approaching the game, right, in their respective sports. And if you ever saw them together, they would always, you could see they was having that that like-minded conversation for real,
You can
because they
actually like
operate the
see the
same.
energy of like when they talking, like them transmitting it back and forth. Like you can see it, son. It's crazy.
Exactly. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like when I think about Kobe, it's like, bro, like you know how much dedication, that dedication only you can only be that dedicated if you know your purpose and you know your why, for real. Like that's the only reason, that's the only way you can be able to like achieve the greatest height that you can achieve, because you're immersing yourself fully and deeply into what you want to do. And that's why I feel like, for me personally, like I compare myself to Kobe as far as the mindset. I loved his mindset, so I tried to emulate that. But he's like, let's just focus on one thing. I feel like if when I was younger, all I talked about was baseball. Anybody asked me something, I said, "What you want to be?" A professional baseball player. I wasn't thinking about nothing else. Even when I was in high school, I wasn't thinking about nothing else. Nothing. I sacrificed a lot of time and a lot of other stuff to just do that and play, to the point where I found myself playing damn near a year round anywhere. You see what I'm saying? And now it's like, once you give that much energy and that much love to something, bro, you can't just like walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, no matter how you spending your time with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now, like, I'm out here, I'm engineering. So now, because that was the reason I got into engineering in the first place, was because I was like, well, let me take a different approach to this game. If I'm gonna do anything, it's still gonna be somehow related to this game. You know what I'm saying? So why not be the black engineer, the black scientist, building this technical stuff to advance the game? You see what I'm saying? We see what route they're trying to go. When we talk about the sports industry, when it comes to player development, there's so many different things that can probably be thought of. So now you have a creative space as well. And me being a player that I am, I've always had that mindset, which is why I'm coaching now. And in the long run, I love giving back to the kids. I love coaching kids. I love developing kids, right? But I'm also thinking like, this is me gaining experience, because now I'm able to see some of the commonalities when it comes to development of a player. And so now I can come start thinking of ways to help players develop at a faster rate, or to be able to see their imperfections and be able to fix them. So that is something that now it's like, okay, boom, that's my niche. Like, this is where it all ties into. The to whom is too much is given, much is required. So I know this thing gonna take time, because when it comes to engineering, like I'm talking about being super technical, bro. Like you have to learn a lot. So it's like, I realize that that's my purpose, and then I'm using that as a vehicle to ultimately now do what I really said I wanted to do. I said I want to buy the block back. If anybody gonna own the block, it's gonna be me. Like I want to buy the block with my mama house on it. Like,
that's crazy.
so like I say, I own that block, and now I'm building communities, because we've come from the inner city. We've come from New Orleans, bro, and we know how hard it is.
That's crazy, bro.
You know
It's
what I'm
crazy,
saying?
like listening to you say it, because like now it's like it's so clear, bro. Because you said that when you were young, all you talked about was baseball. That's all you talked about was, being a professional baseball player. But what the gift that God gave you was baseball, but not necessarily you becoming a professional baseball player, but you impacting the game in a whole different aspect that you couldn't even think of. And it's something that's probably going to be even greater than if you were to become a professional baseball player. Something that's going to be able to touch people's lives like universally. You feel me? Once develop the program and system that you set out to develop by God. So it's like, it's crazy how we might have our own perception of what God's purpose is of us, but when you actually start acting in it, he starts opening it up wider and wider to like a whole different view, to where you couldn't even fathom of, how great it was going to be. And I feel like the same thing happened for Kobe the exact same way. Like, yeah, he thought he was just going to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But now look at him. He done built like centers, bro. Like he done invested his money in other places and done built like whole like shoe brands and all this other
Dog,
stuff.
this
And it's like,
man, besides all that, this man has impacted the world. When he
right.
left, the entire world stopped.
Think about that.
Literally, he
And
made the
he
world
thought
stop.
he was just supposed to play basketball in the NBA.
Basketball. Exactly.
There's millions of people who done play. Well, there's probably hundreds of thousands of people who done played in the NBA before, but none of them had that impact like that.
Right.
But his goal
Right.
was just to go to the NBA and play in the NBA. But Guy's goal was for him to be the most influential basketball player probably of all time.
That's a fact. Like literally, bro. When I tell you, like everybody, if it is one basketball player, you know, I don't care if you don't know a lick of basketball. Even if you don't know a lick of basketball, you done heard of Kobe Bryant.
On God, on God.
Like you don't see people say, "Oh, Kobe Bryant, who's that?" Nah, everybody know Kobe.
Exactly.
And that's what he realized that was his, like, and it only came, he only started acting his purpose as he grew. So that growth mindset. And if you ever listen to an interview with him, this is a part of growth. Failure is a part of growth. So he said when it comes to failing, he didn't see it as a failure. He was excited to fail.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to fail.
We're gonna get into failure. We're gonna get into failure.
He seeked failure, bro. You feel what I'm saying? He knew it's a part of the process, because now when you fail, you can learn from your failures. You can only get better.
We're gonna get into failure. That's the last one. But yeah, after the purpose is trusting the process. Wait, before I get into trust the process, I kind of want to make a statement. So I want to make this to where people can kind of apply it. So we gave an example. Christian gave his example, and we talked about Kobe as well. His example, his purpose. So think back on what your purpose might be. What is those things that since you were a little kid, you always just seem to like be good at, but other people might not have been as good as you at it. Like for Christian's instance, it was baseball. For Kobe, it was basketball. For me, it was more of inspiring others. But like for you, find that thing that people was just like, dang, like that seemed like that came natural to you, and dig deep into it and see if there's something there that you can actually apply and monetize and get better at and become the master of. So yeah. But next one is trust the process. So like we said, once you find your purpose, once you become aware, you identify your self-doubts, then you flip the switch, make that decision, attach yourself to that purpose. Now this is probably the hardest part. Flip the switch is probably the part where most people quit, but it ain't the hardest part. That's probably like one of the easiest parts. But trusting the process is probably the hardest part, because this is the part when you actually have to put in the work and the energy and the effort. Is you coming obsessed with that idea, you becoming obsessed with that purpose and that mission, and not wavering. Because if you don't have a purpose, then it's easy for us to get the shiny object syndrome, which is like running rampant right now with social media. We see one person making money doing this. Now it's like, I'm gonna try this. We see somebody making money doing this. Oh, let me jump on that. But if we can take the time to actually sit down, trust our purpose, trust our own process, not compare ourselves to others, put in that 10,000 hours of work to become a master of something. 10,000 hours of work is what it takes to become a master at something. That's a proven fact. So it's just making that commitment to it, and then, trusting that.
And when it comes to trusting the process, you have to realize that this is your process, right? So don't sit there in the midst of your process and compare what other people have to what you have, because guess what? Everybody comes in due time. Everybody gets their due in due time. So you just have to realize, and as you go throughout this life and continue to grow and have that growth mindset, that these things are going to come in due time, but these things are levels. Just like I had to realize, like, I got to it. I got here off of just pure drive and dedication. I'm not even going to lie to you. I didn't plan to be here for real. I didn't plan to be in this position. I didn't plan to be an engineer. You know what I'm saying? I literally decided that was going to be my major, like my junior year of high school, for real. You see what I'm saying? But now that I'm here, and then I got into it, and I got into it in school, and then I just stayed dedicated, right? And I trust the process that no matter what happened, I'm going to get this degree. Right? No matter what happened, I'm going to be the best ball player that I can be. You know what I'm saying? And throughout you don't realize that throughout the process, you're really aligning yourself with each person that you meet, with each action that you take, and everything else along the way. Because I've met so many people and network with so many different people that I can go. I'm not just an engineer, man, but I'm a businessman. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a leader and a motivator. You feel me? I feel like I'm influential because I am not only thinking about myself along this journey. I've realized my purpose and realized that the greater things that are going to come are going to require a longer time to achieve. You feel what I'm saying? As far as the multitude of things from different areas, you see what I'm saying? And there are certain lessons that you have to learn before you can actually achieve what you want. Because guess what? Because remember, the goal is not to just get to $1 million or $10 million. The goal is to hold on to it. And that way you can pass it down to your kids. That's the goal. Like, even when you're not here, that money is still here and that money is still where it needs to. That only way you're going to be able to do that is to trust the process. And then trusting the process, knowing that you're not going to be perfect, right? It goes back to the identification. Progress over perfection. Because life is a continuous process.
Exactly.
You're going to change.
And through that process, bro, you're gonna get those reassurances if you on the right path, bro. Because when I was in high school, like, you know, I wanted to be in the MLB. That was my goal, to go to the MLB and be one of the best baseball players to ever play. But along that process, little glimpses will happen. It's like I will see somebody who might not be as good, and I'll ask them to stay after practice so I can help them. And like it'll just be little things here and there. Or like, say I'll see somebody who wasn't doing well in class, and we're in the same class, I would, show them step by step how to do a problem or something like that. And it should be little things like that. And then those little things add up, and people be like, bro, like, you really inspired me, and you make me want to be a better person. Like, you really make me want to do better. And it's like, yeah, I thought baseball was the avenue that God wanted me to go through, but it was really just touching those people's lives while I was in the positions of where I was at through my actions. You feel me? So you might be doing something right now that you might think is your purpose, but it's just putting you in the seat or the position for you to touch the people with your actual purpose. You feel me? And it's just trusting that process there, not being discouraged with where you are at currently, and taking advantage of where you are at currently and using your purpose in that way for that current situation.
And when it comes to the process, and that's really like you just like, bro, just trust the process. I don't even want to like eat. It's like you can't even really like
No
like
cap.
we can sit here and talk about it all day, but it's like that's where faith comes in, bro. Like you have to have faith. You feel what I'm saying? Have faith in your ability. Have faith and have faith that God put you where you're supposed to be at, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But now, if you're on this journey, going through this process, and you realize that you're not having that faith, you're not, taking those steps to learn on the daily and continue to continuously get better, whatever, and you realize you're not making those steps, then that's on you. That's your fault, right? But just know that at any instant, you can always switch the mentality. At any instant, it just takes you to just do it, right? And don't
Yeah.
backslide. And if you do backslide, be rebound. But you can't keep backsliding. At some point you gotta gain ground. You know what I'm saying? Only way you're gonna gain ground. Like, bro, I have seen so many things happen for me by just writing it down and not worrying about it. Opportunities have come up by me just writing it down, writing my goals down, saying I want to do this, I want to do this, or no, I will. I write it as I will. I will be. I will be a millionaire, right? I will be the G. Like, it don't even matter what it is. Like, write all of it down because it can all be possible. For real, for real. As time go on, it ain't just gonna happen right now. I want to be the GM of a major league baseball team. I
You
do.
will.
I
You
I
will.
will. I will. I will own a major league baseball team. Right. Stuff like that. And all of a sudden, once you write it down and you leave it there and you start now and then make a plan and attack it every day, and that's what your goal is, eventually you're gonna see opportunities open up left and right because you have faith and you trusted the process that whatever you wrote down is gonna come to fruition. Like that's what it's really about. Not
It's literally
just
like
doing that, but
bro.
just trusting it. It's literally like that, bro. And I know that you are a testament to that as well, because I'm pretty sure the things that you're doing right now are things that
They
you have
all
written
been written
down and you
down,
just
bro.
trust, and they just trusted the process.
And I
And you
ain't even
didn't
really
like get
put
too
no
high, get too
real,
low.
I ain't really put no real like. I mean, I put work in. Like I ain't about to say like I ain't put no real work in to get them, but like I ain't put no real like stress on it. Like I just wrote it down and then line the habits and the actions up with them, son. Like it wasn't really like I gotta do this. I gotta make sure. Like it's just like I wrote it down, made a plan, bro. Took every day, day by day. Boom. Some days I took steps back. Things happen. You feel me? And then some days it's like, dang, like it was a big jump. And it's like it just keep happening like that. You don't know what kind of day it's gonna be. But if you just trust that process and you have an end goal, that's the most important part. Having an end goal. That way you know when it's done. So yeah.
That's the most important, bro. Besides purpose and trusting the process, bro. Like
Right. Right.
I can't even realize how many conversations I've had with people that are like, just you gotta trust the process every day.
Exactly. But yeah,
Ain't
that
no other way to spit it to y'all, bro.
facts.
Like real talk. Like I don't know what else to say about that. And
Ain't
then but you gonna know when you do it, it's gonna come. And when you're gonna be, oh yeah, Elgin Christian was right. I just had to trust the process.
That's
That's how I
reality.
feel. Like with KB, I was talking to KB every day. Man, I'm like, we used to talk, and he'll be like, he'll stress and whatever about school, whatever, woo. And he'll stress about school and everything. And I'm like, bro, everything good, bro. You at where you need to be at. Don't really trip on it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody process is different. Just continue to keep going. And now he's told me he working in the aerospace industry now. He didn't even think he told me he didn't even think he would be working there. He thought he'd be working some little slight job. Like, nah, bro, you working in
Exactly, bro.
aerospace, dog. That means you're capable, bro. And guess what? It's what's funny? He's in the same role that I'm in.
That's crazy. So now y'all
So now it's like,
connected.
okay,
Now y'all
now
connected.
I'm seeing, really seeing my purpose now,
Right.
because I was literally talking to him the other day. Say, yeah, this is what you need to expect. This is what quality does. This is all we do. Make sure you do this, that, and the third. He was like, wow, like you sound like a manager, bro. Like that's exactly what my manager was saying in my meeting. I was
Yo,
like, yeah, like because I understand, like I'm really taking this in, I'm absorbing this, bro. I'm really
mm-hmm.
out here working. So, but I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for me and my self elevation. But I know that whatever piece of information comes to me is going to be valuable to somebody else at some point, even if I don't see it as valuable right now.
Yep.
You
And
see what
that
I'm saying?
and he gonna be able to uplift even more people just through your information that you gave him to execute his job at a higher level. So yeah, bro.
Exactly.
Trusting the process is beautiful. That's probably the king of all of this. But the next one is all of these are important though. But the next one we're gonna talk about is starting small to lead to the big wins. So this is basically just finding a goal for each day. Set like 3 daily goals on things that you're going to do. Set 3 daily goals and rank them on priority and set them on your schedule or your calendar to execute them throughout the day. So if you fail to do it, then that means that it's not really that important to you, and you probably need to reevaluate it and see if that's something that you actually want to pursue or not. But for the most part, the ones that you continuously execute, go with those because that's telling you that that's where your desire actually lies at. And you getting those small wins every day and not having to, dwell on the losses or the goals that you didn't achieve, that's going to help you build that confidence and build that pretty much that trust in yourself to keep pushing through day by day. Because we all been in situations where we might go to the gym, 3 days a week, and then we miss that one day, and then that one day kind of leading to us not going back or something like that for like a week. But if you find a way to push through those times when you really don't want to do something and persevere and overcome and still go to the gym, then that following day you're gonna have so much trust and belief in yourself that the thought won't even pass your mind to miss the gym. Now I go to the gym every day and don't even think about it. It's really like my body just on autopilot. It's like, damn, like I didn't even go to the gym today. Like I'm going, like I'm getting dressed right now and going. It's not even no debate. It's not even up for discussion no more. And getting those quick
That's
wins, bro, it's key.
Bro, it's really crazy. It's really crazy because you said that, because you're like, because now I'm in a process, like I said I'm because of my schedule. It's like, and it's also about working with your schedule, right? Knowing what you can do so that you can at least achieve those wins, right? Because then eventually you're gonna start. It's gonna get to you're doing it so much to where you're gonna find yourself optimizing your time, and then you can do more, right? So it's levels to it. So you have to start off with what you're dealing with right now, because it's not gonna happen right then and there. That's what we talk about, trusting the process. You feel me? But as long as you have it planned out, like I go to the gym 3 times a week, right? 3 times a week. Cause I know that's what I can do. I need a rest day in between, because that those 2 days in between give me time to not only rest physically but mentally, and then also I optimize that time through for that day after work to do other things that I've been focusing on. So it's like I know that's what I can do, but it's eventually gonna get to a point where I'm going to the gym 5 times a week. You see what I'm saying? But it's levels.
But you
Like
building that muscle, you building that accountability. Like, I'm gonna go 3 times this week, and then once you do it, it's like, dang, like, all right, now I can take the next step. Now I'm gonna up it up and see where I can fit it in a little more. Boom, now I'm at 5 times a week.
Right. And like you were saying before, like you like, oh, I didn't go to the gym today. There's been times where because I plan to get up and go to the gym at 3:30, 4 in the morning before I get up and go to work. But sometimes, hey, look, it don't happen. But guess what? Throughout the day, I'm always thinking like, damn, I did not go to the gym today. And I find myself going to the gym 9 o'clock that night because I need to get it in, because I said I was going to get it in.
Exactly. And then you start
You
holding
feel me?
yourself accountable.
I'm accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It starts so small though. Or even like, it could be something as small as like making your bed every day. Like, even if you want to start with making your bed every day, get out of bed, make it, boom. You're going to start doing it. And then one day you're going to forget. One day you're going to come home and be like, damn, like, I did not make the bed. Like, you're going to come home after work, like, I did not make the bed.
Like, sick. You're going to come back mad at yourself.
And then
like,
you're going to make your bed at 6 p.m. to go get in at 8 o'clock. just because you ain't going to want to deal with that guilt in your heart. Of not doing what you said you was going to do. And as you continually do that and start holding yourself accountable and holding yourself to that higher standard, it's going to translate to other aspects of your life.
And those wins going to add up. Just because it don't seem like it now, eventually down the line, like, it's going to matter. It's going to make a difference, because guess what? Like we was talking about before, you got to congratulate yourself every now and again. And when you realize you've been to the gym 3 days a week, 4 weeks in a row, you like, oh, okay, cool. I bet I can do this now. You feel what I'm saying? And then it's like having that purpose and that drive and that goal. Now you deserve to go on a vacation. Now you deserve to eat a cheat meal. Now you deserve to lay in your bed and do nothing today, because you done grinded 6 days a week doing everything else, or because you met that goal of consistently going to work out 3 times a week.
Some people be laying in bed watching Netflix and can't even enjoy the show because they feel guilty about something that they didn't do on Tuesday. And it's Friday. You can't even enjoy your show because you can't stick to your own word. Stick to your own word and then reward yourself. You feel me?
If you want to watch Netflix, if you want to spend a couple hours out the day watching Netflix, grind 6 days a week, and then on that 7th day, you can go ahead and be like, okay, I can spend a couple hours.
What God did on the 7th day? What God did on the 7th day?
The boy rested. The boy did nothing.
Exactly.
He did nothing.
He put in work for 6 days,
making the earth. Like, he put in work all 6 days, making the earth, making man, making animals, doing all that, and he's like, I'm tired.
Now it's time to rest.
Now it's time to rest because my job is done.
We be trying to rest on day one. We be trying to rest on day one.
And we ain't even do nothing though. It's like, bro, you gotta do this again. What you resting for?
Oh God.
What? Why? Well, you tired? I'm tired too. Somebody tired. Everybody tired. Everybody got something they're dealing with. You feel? We gotta think about it like too.
But yeah, bro. That was small wins. Start small. Very key. Last one. We kind of touched on it earlier. Christian jumped the gun on me. And is embrace the F word. You feel me? Be comfortable with the F word. He said, "Oh, failure." You thought it was some of the other F word. But yeah, you got it. You got to embrace failure, man. all aspects of your life is going to be attached with some sort of failure at any moment. You're going to fail to do do something that you said you was going to do. You're going to fail to meet a deadline. Your business might, one business might fail completely. Like you might really, your life going to be full of failures. And it's just embracing those failures and turning that L into a W. You feel me? You got to turn that L into a W. Hold up. They ain't see it. They ain't see it. They ain't...
Whoa.
Hold up. I just came up with that on the spot.
Whoa. Chill out,
Turn that
bro.
L to a W. But yeah, I got a pet in that. But yeah, bro, just embracing life lessons, man, because that's really gonna be something that can be a opportunity for you. Because by you failing, now you can teach somebody something. You feel me? People pay
And when
you
it
for
comes
your
to
failures.
failing,
People pay you for it.
yeah. And that's why I like to tell people, like, especially coming out, and let's start with something as simple as a career, like in a job, right? Don't go in here in the workforce and go in and stress yourself because you want to be perfect, right? You want to be perfect and you want to get everything done as anything. You just starting work. You're not going to know everything. So don't go in there thinking because somebody give you a task that's going. Some of them don't even get the task that they said done. I'm talking about managers. I'm talking about people. I'm like, they're people just like us.
They are
Like
people,
people
boy.
fail. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you are always learning from the quote unquote failure, right? Then everything is fine because now you know what to do better next time. There's always gonna be no opportunity. You see what I'm saying? Like, so don't stress yourself about messing something up, especially if you went in with the intention of doing it correctly. That's the main thing. No, you can't go in and be like, oh, I don't care about it, or I don't care about the task, and get mad at yourself and get mad when you fail. Like it
A
was meant
lot
to
of people do
happen.
that,
Like,
bro. Like they put in
I
little
know.
effort and then they get mad about the result. I mean, yeah, of
And
course, give your best effort, and if you put in your best effort and you fail, you gotta just take that, eat that, move forward, push forward, progress, and learn from it. But don't be out here giving half effort because failure pains. Just take failure in stride. You feel me? Just yeah, that's really all I gotta say.
but failure is it comes in different shapes and forms. Your failure ain't the same as somebody else's failure for real. So like I said, it's like comparing goals, comparing status, whatever throughout your journey, throughout your process. Don't compare the failures either, because everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. Everybody has different things that they are learning. So you can't expect somebody else to fail in one area and think that you're gonna fail in that area as well. Just
Because
because
honestly,
somebody
you
else
might have
failed
a
in that
whole
area.
different skill set that can allow you to be
Exactly.
that person that can fill that gap that that person couldn't fill, and maybe that would have been that last little piece that they needed to the puzzle to get it, successful. But you have that key piece that can be put into that same position, and now you can execute on that idea perfectly.
And that's
Yeah.
oh,
Go ahead, bro. You got it.
I don't know, I was about to say, and that's why especially when it comes to like other people, right? Now we're talking about other people coming in and they tell you about their failures. And I hate the people that come in and tell you about their failures as if you're gonna make the same mistake, do the same failure. That's a difference
Right.
between somebody that's saying, hey, like not saying that you're gonna do this, but
Right.
when I did the same thing, this is what happened. This is kind of what happened to me, but I just want you to be aware, right? That's different than bring about the awareness, right?
Right.
But if somebody comes straight to you and just like, yeah, bro, I wouldn't even do that just because that
Right.
I did like I took that teacher and I failed. Well, what was you doing in class? That's gonna be my next
Exactly.
question.
Exactly, boy. I don't know how many times
Well,
I done heard somebody be like, Doctor such and such. Yeah, nah, bro, don't take them, bro. They ain't no good teacher. And then I take the class and it's like,
and I'm like, what?
ain't
That
nothing,
ain't been
ain't
easy.
nothing, ain't nothing wrong
This
with
ain't nothing we
them.
done did before,
It's
right?
like the only
Ain't
thing
nothing.
they expect is for you to turn in your homework on time. Like, is that
That's
too much
it.
to ask? Well, like,
All they expect you to do is to answer every question on the test as best as you can. You'll
right?
get points.
Is that the thing that you was too
Is that
concerned
is
about?
that is that the hard thing? Like all he's asking you to do is come to his office hours if you really need help.
Right.
If you don't never show up to the office hours, he not gonna mess with you, bro. Like
Right,
straight up.
bro. Right.
Or even come to him after class and ask a couple questions. Like that's effort. That's still effort within itself. You're actively trying to learn from whatever mistake you were making. And I feel like, especially at Tuskegee, bro, like them classes was hard as I don't know what, bro. But I feel like by the grace of God, because we were active and actually showing professors that we were trying to learn the material information, when it came down to us passing the classes, we was able to pass. Even some of the hardest classes where a whole lot of people was failing.
People was really failing.
Yeah, like flat out, like failing classes.
But
like,
we might have failed a test, but we weren't comfortable with. Well, I'm gonna say we were comfortable with failing the test, but we weren't okay with it.
We acknowledged it.
We accepted it that we failed that test, but on this next one, we gonna learn from the mistakes that we had, and then what they do, they be like, all right, we're gonna have a retake. And they'd be like, damn, the people who studied gonna do good on the retake.
Yeah.
Right. The retake, he did a retake, and he didn't even say that he was gonna do a retake. You feel me? He just popped up that next day. Remember when Dr. Zane just popped up that next day? We're gonna do a retake, and we was like,
do a retake?
Glad that we went to his office hours because
right.
You ain't go, then you gonna fail the test the exact same way again.
So, again, right? So last thing you want to do is make the same mistake again.
Exactly.
And then he come back and tell you, oh yeah, this is going to be the same stuff. Literally, I've had classes like that because that many people were failing. But it's like, okay, now because those are the people that the professors that's like, okay, everybody failing, there must be something wrong.
Right.
So let me just give him a retake.
And he really like restructured the test to all the complaints that people had. But what they didn't do is they didn't go restudy the material to learn it and make sure it was good. So when they did the retake, they still failed, and they looking at us like, damn, how y'all passed? Because we were comfortable with the failure, but we didn't, I guess, sulk on it. We didn't take it as, our reality. We was like, all right, we failed that test because of this reason. So now let me put in that missing piece, and now I can pass it. So it's like,
Right. But you gotta be able to accept it first. That's what the acceptance. You gotta be able to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever even your circumstance, you got to be able to accept them for what they are, because your circumstance could be a quote unquote failure, right? In your eyes, right? But now knowing that's really a lesson that you're learning, so you need to take it the lesson for what it's worth and move forward.
But if you constantly pushing on somebody, if you constantly blaming somebody else for your failure, there's no way you can accept it. There's no way you can move forward from it. If you constantly pushing it.
How you blaming me for not being able to pay your rent?
Come on now. That's your rent.
How you blame me for not be able to pay your car note?
That's your car. I ain't driving it.
You with the ad libs is ridiculous.
Joseph Bad.
It's like it's a song or something. You funny. Come on, hey, my car, you driving it? But like, can you really do that though, man? Like, how can you really like sit there and like think that like it's just supposed to magically like pop out of thin air and everything's supposed to be okay? When it's like God gonna give you everything you need to. He gives you everything. He says he won't give you too much and he won't give you too little. He'll give you exactly what you need. Mm-hmm. But you have to take everything for what it's worth that's in front of you. And you have to actually work for it. Faith without work is dead, bro. Faith without work is dead. So you can have all the faith that you want to. You can pray all you want to. But, if you ain't back it up with no actions to actually move forward and be better the next day, then there's not going to be no results.
Nothing.
And if there are results, there's going to be poor results. You see what I'm saying? So it's a balance. Everything is a balance. You have to be able to balance everything. You know what I'm saying? And realize where your energy needs to align at in order for you to really succeed in this life. You feel what I'm saying?
Ooh, I think that's enough heat for today. I think that's enough.
Yeah, I think it might be, man. It was a great podcast today, bro. It was a great podcast, bro. We've been on this thing for about 2 hours. It's like 5 o'clock on my time. Yeah, we got on like 3 something, so it's been about 2 hours.
We covered like that.
Yeah, like that.
Tip of the week is just rewatch this. Rewatch it.
He said just rewatch the whole thing.
That's it. Watch it twice. Because I know it's some stuff that was missed on the first time that you listen to it. I know it. So watch it again. And that's all I got, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. And I love y'all. Keep working. You feel me? You feel me? Fate without
Facts,
action is
man.
pointless. You feel me? Put
A
that
vision
work
without
in.
action is merely a dream.
Oh
Vision
God.
without action is merely a dream. Shout out to Kevin Gates because that's where I
God.
started really tapping into that one. And he probably got it from somewhere else, but I know it came from Gates. And
Oh
when he
God.
said that, it's like, okay, I can have this vision, but I gotta have the action behind it. You feel me? So yeah, shout out to L. Shout out to the Workman podcast. Y'all continue to support. We
Right.
love y'all. This is Christian. We out, man.
We out here.
And y'all we continue. Please continue to align yourself and be the best you that you can be every day. You
Right.
feel me? Because it's only gonna be off of you and your dedication to whatever you got. After that, the opportunity is limitless. After that, you feel what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
All right. Peace.